All right, everybody. How's it going out there? Welcome to my channel. I'm Thomas, and I do educational videos on all kinds of different topics. To start the channel, the first main unit of educational materials that we're talking about are Tree of Life, and I've rolled out 144 videos on longer videos, half an hour videos on the intro to Tree of Life and various aspects of the Tree of Life, the 144 minor aspects, which I can also share with you in written form. If you click the link in the description, I'll send that out to you for free. But right now, we're kind of in the process of recording 144 more videos on the same topic, but shorter videos that are more streamlined. So you may need to take a gander at my video Tree of Life, an introduction, or Tree of Life, a short introduction that will kind of get you up to speed on the background that you need to watch the videos. You might be able to get away without that, but just to let you know. Now, today I'm going to be completing, or at least continuing, a video that I started yesterday, which is on Tree of Life and orientation. So this is just, a couple short videos to show kind of where we are. Like if you're looking at Tree of Life and you're wondering how this applies, and this is kind of the 2022 look at Tree of Life and how it can really help you to map out your location and your things that you need to keep in mind as you move forward. So this is the tree, and again, watch my short introduction if you need to be updated on what this all means. But this is basically, the tree is basically like a map of our consciousness, and each one of the circles or spheres there, along with this abyss here and the zero above the tree, so a total of 12 of them are major aspects of the tree, the major faculties of consciousness. So for example, the 10th sphere is all about our survival, all about our instinct. This is our wild animal consciousness, kill or be killed. State of nature, the law of the jungle, the life force. Okay, now we had kind of talked about how in the previous video how the 10, 9, and 8 matrix kind of can get you trapped. And at the end of the video, we were talking about how this person is moving over to the 7th sphere, and that will give them a better opportunity to move up the tree. Because that's really the goal of spiritual evolution, is to move all the way back, all the way to, this is the creator at the top. We're moving back in that direction in our spiritual evolution. But there are many ways that we can get waylaid and get trapped and get sidetracked, and also not even recognize that we're on a spiritual evolution. And if we get caught into a kind of a material situation, we're going to get stuck on one of the lower aspects. And if we don't even know that this construct exists, then it also becomes difficult. So now the 8th sphere is really about the consensus worldview. It's really about the real world. Now, when we move over to the 7th sphere, we're moving over to the imaginary world. So the 7th sphere is about what we imagine, also having to do with intuition, our ability to be curious and to go inside, to ask questions of ourselves, also our creative spark, to be able to put things together in new and original ways, also our pleasure principle, to be able to put together things in harmonious ways that are pleasing to others, and inspiration, being able to follow others who have done things that we admire. And so what we're doing here at the seventh sphere is we're imagining a better way to do the eighth sphere. We saw the problems with the eighth sphere, all the trickery, all the, misrepresentation. And we come over here and we imagine ways that we can make the eighth sphere better. And we eventually, will come up with a creative product or maybe an invention, something that we have that makes this better if it's applied. But what we don't really kind of understand at this point is that the eighth sphere is not looking to make it better. They don't want, they don't want your creative product. They do want it, but what they're going to do is they're going to twist it around and they're going to basically turn it into an advertising jingle for them. So, if you come up with this great song or this painting or this play, you're in a situation where you're at what I call the crossroads situation. So this is a crossroads. You have the choice of going on this road or going on this road. And if you look here, you can see that this here is a pyramid. This is the base of the pyramid, and this is the apex of the pyramid. It's actually both the apex and the nadir of the pyramid. So it's an octahedron, which is a double pyramid. But so basically going in this direction is uphill, whereas going in this direction is just straightforward or on the level. Now, what's going to happen is if you develop your creativity here and your imagination, you're going to, and you come up with something great, like a great song or a play or an invention, the eighth sphere is going to offer you a good amount of money and your salvage of your reputation to get it from you. But what they're going to do is they're going to twist it around and use it for their own purposes. They're going to co-opt your invention. Now, the eighth sphere, as we remember from last video, is really where all the resources are. So you're going to be high and dry here. Your choices are either going to be take the money and sell out your product, or take the uphill crossroad and develop it on your own. And really, so the idea is that you have to kind of develop it all the way from the sixth sphere, and then kind of what happens is if you develop it all the way to the apex of this pyramid, you find out that this actually is an octahedron, and there is an inversion that occurs, and you thought you were at the top, but you're actually at the bottom. And so this is like the Bob Dylan song "Idiot Win." When you think that you're at the top, you find out that you're on the bottom. And so you have to climb again to get to the fifth sphere. So this is a continuous climb here. If you can get yourself to the fifth sphere, then you basically are trumping the eighth sphere, because you're directly above, even though you're on the same level in this pyramid, on the schematic of the tree, you're over the eighth sphere. And so any kind of comparison between where you are and the eighth sphere, you come out on top. The eighth sphere really has nothing to say here to the fifth sphere, because it just can't compare. So it just ignores you then. So that is the long process of spiritual development, is to take your stuff, your development, your intuition, your imagination, and your creative product, and develop it yourself, as opposed to just giving it to the eighth sphere that already has a structure for it, but is going to co-opt it. So this is the path that you take to avoid getting co-opted. And we see here the sixth sphere is really our free will faculty. So this is our ability to pay attention and to make decisions. And so what we're doing here is we're beginning to exercise our free will, but what we recognize is that most of our attention is generally occupied with the lower aspects. We spend most of our time paying attention to, the consensus worldview, how we grew up, and even our survival. And so the key to our free will is making the decision to turn ourselves around and to be able to actually pay attention to our lower aspects. So we're really turning our back here at the sixth sphere. We're turning our back on our lower aspects and trying to embrace our higher aspects. But the problem is that the higher aspects haven't really been developed yet, whereas these have been developed. And they're comfortable for us. We're accustomed to them. But now, if we decide to make the decision to turn ourselves around, to turn our attention around away from this, then it's scary because we're looking into the unknown. So we have to kind of overcome a certain level of fear in order to do this. And that's part of the hero's journey there at the sixth sphere. Now, it's interesting, if you look at the ancient Egyptian the tree of life comes from the ancient Egyptian, or at least it went through the ancient Egyptian. It maybe originated before that, but the names that it applies for this spiritual evolution here is that the seventh sphere is called Het Heru, the sixth sphere is called Heru, and the fifth sphere is called Heru Kahudi. Okay, so they all have the name Heru in them. That's hero. So this is Het Heru, the house of Heru, meaning the house of the hero, which kind of boils down to our sexual organs, gonads, but it really is like the seat, the beginning, the spark, the kind of the spark of the hero. And then at the sixth sphere, you're talking about just the hero in general. So this is your ability to turn your back on, what's comfortable and to embrace staring into the unknown. And then at the fifth sphere, it's Heru Kahudi, which means Heru of two horizons, which means Heru in the morning and Heru at night. Like Heru at the sunrise, Heru at the sunset. All day long, you're Heru. So you're being, here, this is just a spot. You're a hero for a moment, or you're a hero at a certain time or at a certain event. Here, you're the hero all day long, meaning that you're having to, face your fears. You're standing in the face of your fears. And so really, the fifth sphere is about our sense of justice, but it is also about subculture. It's about nonviolence and nonviolent resistance. So this is the way that you end up being able to trump out the eighth sphere, which is where the powers that be lie. So we'll talk more about that in a future video. I want to make these short enough to keep them so that I can put them on other channels, basically. But so here we just outline kind of the 765 Het Heru, Heru, Heru Kahudi, and how that goes in. So we basically we develop not only our artistic creation, but really our whole way of life, our mission in life, our higher calling in life. But we realize that we have to develop it kind of on our own, as opposed to getting help from the powers that be and the consensus worldview. Okay, I'm going to try to do another video later on number 20 of the 144 fractal faculties. But thanks for sticking around to the end of this video, and click the like button, share, subscribe. You can also donate directly through Cash App and Venmo in the description. And we'll see you hopefully later today with another video.